Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host Ray Goots. Sorry we were late for this one. I was in California doing a fright fest, a horror fest, what the fuck you want to call it, over in Universal Studios. But we're back and we're on the beach, Bash at the Beach 95. I'm here with Andrew Lee. Andrew Lee, how you doing, bro?
I'm excellent, man. How are you?
You
Feeling
know,
good? Back in New York City?
I'm good. I think the thing about this year, my thing with the problem with the podcast, but we're gonna get over it soon, is that I'm just not connecting to this year in any way, shape, or form. I'm talking about 1995, man. I didn't grow up on this. I wasn't watching in this time. And when I watch these shows, I'm like glad I wasn't watching. I think if I had stuck around in 94, 95, I would have just gave up forever. Like I wouldn't even come back in 98. It's just like this is just like a really bad year. This is a really bad year to sit through, including this show. I know you thought the show was good. I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, so far, I mean, you're right. Like, we've Bash the Beach 95. This is already July. So we're already halfway into the year. And
Mhm.
none of the pay per views in 1995, including WrestleMania, has not been eventful. In fact, it's some of the worst shows ever, right? And that's including
Yeah.
WrestleMania, WrestleMania should theoretically always be like a great show, right? But it's
Mhm.
not good. It's either been bad or mediocre
Four.
at best. Mediocre, right? Yeah, best, right? So
Yeah, and this
hopefully,
show, like, I'll say this about this show. I love the idea. I like the visuals. I think all that works for it, and in a way it stands out as one of WCW. But I think the reason why this show stands out is they did do it on the beach. And I actually think Tony Khan, since he doesn't care about money or attendance, should do something like this. And I would do it like very sooner than later. I
mhm.
definitely think like this helped them stand out, especially because they were launching Nitro only 2 months later. But I mean, besides them being on the beach, nothing about this show actually was interesting to me.
Yeah, I would say this is a mediocre show too. It's not terrible, it's mediocre. It's like a
It's
whole
just they were in dire need of the Benoits and the Guerreros to come aboard and kill it, literally kill it.
yeah.
They were in dire need, and Bischoff's credit, he recognizes the problem and he hires a ton of great workers. I mean, the first match on Nitro ever is Jushin Liger versus Brian Pillman. And that to me, that's a mission statement from Easy E to everyone that like we're changing shit up. And Nitro really does change everything for the better. And I'm talking both for WWF and WCW.
Absolutely,
It's
yes.
I've watched those early Nitros. From an in-ring standpoint, they're fucking fantastic. And now watching these pay-per-views, they blow everything we've been watching away. Those first
Mhm.
couple of Nitros.
No, I think Nitro is what makes WWF what they are, in the late
Yes.
90s. Without Nitro, would they have ever got to that point? Probably not. And
Yeah, and Nitro is where Bischoff really starts being like, I'm in charge. We're doing it my way, and it's a stark difference. Like, I guess I always thought like WCW was kind of like the Nitro style, and then they just got on. But no, I mean, he really changes it up because this is boring fucking shit right now.
you know what? Competition is good for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Healthy competition is good. And in a way, you could say AEW right now, currently, they're the ones who really kind of.
AEW was healthy competition. Now they're done.
Yeah,
Now
it
they're
was. It
not.
was healthy competition. It really pushed WWE to be better, and I think it is a little better now because of it. Hopefully, it goes back the other way. The pendulum swings back the other way, but that is something to talk about for another day. Right now, we're talking about an event so hot they had to put it on the beach.
Yeah,
Bash
baby.
at the Beach, taking place on July 16th, 1995. At what beach? Huntington Beach, of course, one of the most famous beaches in America. 9,500 people are in attendance, but I'm assuming if you're just walking along the beach, you could probably catch some of this too, right?
Yeah, there's really no real attendance number. They lie on the air and say hundreds of thousands of people are there, and I love that nobody's ever like questioned it. They just I'm gonna say something. I don't give a fuck about attendance numbers. I actually think that AEW should just start blatantly lying on TV about their attendance
that would
numbers.
be that would be hilarious if they started doing that. Yeah,
Like
then you
literally,
better
Tony
lie every
Schiavone should
day.
be like, there are 100,000 people in this building, when you can clearly see 1,000, just say it. Like, and I think at first people are going to be like, Twitter's going to have a stroke, but then I think people are just going to be like, whatever, because like he's lying. He's literally lying on screen, and no one cared.
They do like a
Couple
sky
aerial
shot, helicopter,
Mhm.
right? And you see it, and it is like it's literally it's just a beach. It's a beach, and in the middle there's like this ring, and then there's all these people around it. It does look kind of cool, right?
It looks great. Listen, it looks great. Even if there's only like 2,000 people there,
Uh huh.
like it looks great. And that's why I'm saying like Tony doesn't seem to care that he's not selling tickets. Just do a few dynamites on beaches.
Yeah. hmm So we can't really, go by the attendance number, but we could go by pay-per-view numbers. It had
Mhm.
160,000 pay-per-view buys in comparison to the WCW pay-per-views, because right now WWE is still kind of smoking them out of the water. Great American Bash, the one right before, was 100,000 pay-per-view buys, and Fall Brawl, which will take place after Bash at the Beach, is 95,000 buys. So this Bash at the Beach is really a high drawing pay-per-view compared to
Yeah,
really good.
they do have two big marquee matches. They have
Mm-hmm.
Savage and Flair, and Hogan and Vader, and then of course they have Kamala, which was just a draw anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think people wanted to see this because the visual aspect. It's something different. I
Yeah.
know that this was one I always wanted to watch, and whenever I saw clips from it, it looked very very cool. So
So the opening graphic is Slim Jim and Randy Savage presents Bash at the Beach. It's a fun graphic. We get great shots of the beach. Slim Jim is all over the show. I mean, like everyone's wearing Slim Jim gear. The security got Slim Jim gear on. The commentators, Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan, they got some Slim Jim gear on. It's everywhere, and they are hyping up the Tony and Bobby. They hype up the first match with a really cool, I thought, a cool Meng video package. Did you like that Meng video package? It made it look like a threat.
yeah, it was good. It was good. They needed something because a lot of WWE again, it's still hard for me. Obviously, the real life thing, but remember, for 5 years on WWF, you treat like an idiot. Now you're telling me he's like the baddest on the planet. So
Yeah.
you need to keep really establishing that.
I don't mind these little video packages right before a match on a pay per view. It's great.
Mhm.
Mean Gene Okerlund, he's with Sting, and he asks Sting about Meng, and he goes, in the video package, they talk about how Meng knows like 7 martial arts, which
Mhm.
he none of them in the matches, by the way, right?
Yeah.
But he knows 7, and Sting goes, you know what? You know 7 martial arts. Well, Sting knows 7 types of crazy. I thought that was really funny.
That is
And
pretty
we're at
funny.
my home turf. My mom and my dad are here. That's real crazy, Sting. You're like, I know
Yeah.
7 things. My mom and my dad are here, and I'm not gonna lose in front of. I was
What a
like, what?
badass thing is.
It's so badass. Yeah, because Sting is from Huntington Beach, I believe. So yeah, we're in his hometown. We're gonna go right into our first matches for the U.S. title. It is Meng with Colonel Rob Parker versus Sting, the champion. They mentioned that they're filming Baywatch Girls with wrestlers at this event for a future show. Did you ever watch that episode of Baywatch where there were WCW wrestlers there?
No, no. I saw clips of it and it looks stupid because like they're like treating the matches like they're real. Like they go, Hulk Hogan, we don't want you to hurt yourself. Don't fight I don't know, Taskmaster or someone. Please, Hogan, don't hurt yourself for us. It's just I couldn't. It just was like it looked
Sting, I
really
think your
stupid.
mom and your dad are here. Don't let them down. Don't lose.
Yeah, I remember at one time because it used to be on. Remember, it used to be on, like Saturdays at 5 o'clock. That remember like they used to like TV used to have a lot of thought put into it. But I remember it be looking really stupid. So I know I listen. The women on Baywatch were unbelievable. Like they had some, but I can't watch that show. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking. It's even too dumb for me to. I even as a kid, when I wanted to like just look at hot women, it was just so
I
fucking
used to
stupid.
watch
I couldn't.
Baywatch. I used
Dude,
to
it
watch
was a
Baywatch.
really stupid show. It was fucking
No,
dumb.
at least some episodes were pretty good. You know?
No, the tits were good. That was it. There we go. Easy.
No, okay, well, all right. Anyway, Sting early on he can't drop Meng. Meng's just taking hits and he's just like keep walking forward like a robot. But after a missed splash, Sting he's able to put on the Scorpion Deathlock. But Colonel Rob Parker he starts causing a distraction, which allows Meng to start the beating process on Sting. Meng even goes for a sunset flip, but Sting just jumps up and then just fucking sits down really hard on Meng's face. Right? Did you see that part? He just sat
Mhm.
on his face. And Sting starts firing back. He does a chop block, does a Luthes press, does Hurricanrana, but he can't get a 3 count. And he goes for the Stinger splash, but he eats a huge boot to the face by Meng. I feel like this was like a little like a receipt. Meng then splashes Sting, but he can't win either. And then all of a sudden, Sting does like a sloppy roll up for a win. It was a weird ending, just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was like not a good roll up. It was very sloppy looking. After the match, Meng starts beating on Sting some more, and then Road Warrior Hawk comes down and he faces off with Meng. Um, I told you a couple. I told you it's a dog.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago that I was gonna start grading the matches.
Oh,
I
okay.
I give this a C.
I think it was the best match on the show, and I still didn't like it. So
Okay,
I thought
this was
uh,
not. Yeah, yeah, maybe. All right.
it wasn't as good as their Great American Bash match, but Sting's trying. Sting is given 110%, and I think he knows in his heart of hearts he's always going to be third fiddle to Savage and Hogan, but he keeps giving the fans all he can. Ming just, for all his toughness, Ming is just not a good worker. He wasn't a top guy ever, and he never will.
He's a slow lumbering guy, you
Yeah,
know,
it's never going to
and,
happen for him.
and like Meng's a big guy, but if you want to be like a slow lumbering guy, you kind of have to be like Big Show. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
have to be big for it to be like excusable. You can't be that slow and lumbering at that Ming size. You know what I'm saying? You
Well,
know,
I think Ming's goal, I think the way Vince used Ming in WWF was perfect. Like I don't care how tough he is in real life. That doesn't mean anything to me. I think the way he was, where he was like this mid card heel, who like he can step up to Hogan, but he'll get his fucking face smashed in, and he'll beat up Tito Santana and fucking Coco Beware. That type of level is where he belongs. He doesn't belong going head to head with the top guys. It's just,
I
I'm
would even
sorry.
say, I would even say he's a tag team guy. You
Exactly,
know,
and that's another good use of him as a tag team
like
player.
his sons, like his sons. They're just tag team guys. Nothing's wrong with it being a tag team guy. If you're a tag team
No,
specialist, you're great. You know, just
but
be know
this,
your role, right? Yeah.
but also like the other thing is it's just very unbelievable. It's so funny because this guy's like the toughest guy in real life, but it's very unbelievable that he was like a loser in WWF and now like Sting is like scared of him. It's like so what's gonna happen if fucking Bret Hart shows up? Are you gonna shit your pants because this guy couldn't even beat Bret Hart? You
Yeah.
know,
Or Virgil. What if Virgil
or
shows up?
he does, brother, and
Virgil
Sting
had
goes
the hot
running.
run. Remember?
You know that
Remember he had
I
the
don't know
hot.
if you remember. That's when Sting fucking went to the rafters when Virgil showed up.
Yeah. But Mean Gene after this match, Mean Gene he is with Jimmy Hart and the Renegade, who starts
Oh,
growling, and he goes, "Terminate on sight." I like that. That needs to be someone's catchphrase right now. Terminate on sight.
you know what the Renegade has proven? It's proven all the Warrior haters wrong because everyone shits on the Warrior,
Yeah,
says he was the worst. This guy, they thought they could take anyone and make a new Warrior. You can't because
you
what
cannot.
Warrior had, you can't teach. You cannot teach what Warrior brought to the table.
I don't like the Ultimate Warrior, but I will say watching the Renegade has 100% proven that like Jim Hellwig, he really gave it his all in the Ultimate Warrior character, which is
And he
why
had something.
even to
So,
this day people still love the Ultimate Warrior. It's such a memorable character because he pulled it off. He pulled it off. Same
also,
way you would say Undertaker, Mark Calloway pulled off the Undertaker because not everyone could pull off Undertaker, but he did. Yes.
yeah, exactly. And this guy is just an embarrassment. Putting him with Jimmy Hart is an embarrassment. Every time they decide to do these weird gimmicks in WCW, they just completely shit the bed. They expose the guy's weakness within 2 seconds, and And the match he has is a big example of that. But let's keep going.
Yeah. So it is our second match. It is a television title match. Paul Orndorff versus the Renegade, who is the champion, who comes down with Jimmy Hart. Paul Orndorff hits his shaky elbow drop right away, and he spits at the crowd, which was I was like, wow, this guy's trying to really play the heel role, spitting at the crowd, and but Renegade fights back. He sends Paul Orndorff over the top rope into the sand, but he starts getting a wonderful chant. So even though he spit at the crowd still loves Paul Orndorff. Paul throws he gets a handful of sand and he throws it in the Renegade's eyes and he starts the beating process, starts beating on the Renegade. But the Renegade fires back again with not one, but two terrible looking drop kicks. And then he power slams Paul Orndorff to boos from the crowd. This crowd is not buying the Renegade.
And this is like the general public too. This is like regular people, and they're just not into it.
Yeah. Paul Orndorff he sends Renegade out the ring, which gets cheers. And then Renegade comes back in the ring and he hits a low belly to back suplex. It doesn't get any height. And he does that to win. After he wins, Paul Orndorff had when he was getting pinned, Paul Orndorff had his shoulder up. And he's complaining about it, and he starts attacking Renegade from behind, which also gets cheers. And then he power drives Renegade to a huge cheer from the crowd. But the Renegade no-sells the pile driver, and he hits a flying attack, which gets boos. I gave this match a C.
I hated this match. And this is another... Remember what I said about the WrestleMania 11 main event? Shawn Michaels comes to the back, and I go, hey, Shawn, how do you think that you did? You think you had a good match? And he goes, oh, yeah. I went, no, actually, you fucking sucked. This is the same thing. I go to Paul Orndorff. How do you think you did? Oh, I think I did good. You know, they were cheering me. And then, no, you were fucking garbage. You exposed this guy for being a untalented doofus. That's not your job. Your job is to make people think he has talent. You expose this guy to be completely useless, and I would also fire the agent of this match. Why would you tell the Renegade to do half these fucking moves that he can't do? This match should have been 45 seconds.
About drop kick, dude. He can't even do a drop kick.
Did you see Warrior doing drop kicks?
Didn't Warrior do drop kicks? I think he did.
No, he didn't. Not when he beat Honky Tonk Man. If Warrior went out there at the Honky Tonk Man squash, started doing half the moves this fucking idiot they told him to do, you think Warrior would have left that arena over, or they would have fucking started booing?
Okay, that's fair enough. You tell this guy, yo, you can't even do drop kicks. Don't fucking do drop kicks.
Don't do a drop kick. You want to get this guy over. He's still young at this point. I think this guy's like 23 back then. Look up how old Renegade was when he died, by the way. Can you look that up real quick? Here's my point.
Keep going. Your point.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got silence there. People are gonna think the show's over. Renegade's still young. There's still kind of hope for him. Like, don't expose him this soon. I'm positive that Dominic Mysterio couldn't do a ton of shit 4 years ago. You didn't put him in the position to make him look stupid. Everyone made Dominic look good, and now we have a guy who moves merch. We have a guy who is over. We have a guy who could be a world champion in a year or two. And
go back to Dominic. In the beginning, he was doing moves he could barely do. That's when he stopped.
I know, but Seth
stopped doing it. He stopped doing
exactly. And his opponent, Seth, if you watch that SummerSlam 2020 match, Seth is doing everything he can to make that kid look good. Seth did everything he could to make that kid look good. Seth wasn't selfish. I'm like, look, I'm gonna make this guy look stupid.
I would say this about the Renegade. He was born in 1965, so by this time he is 30 years old. It's a wrap.
Okay.
He can't even do a fucking drop kick. Fuck this guy.
But my whole point is they're gonna try. You have to hide his weaknesses. You can't if you're gonna if he's this bad, don't put him on TV. But if you're gonna put him on TV and attempt to do this, hide the fucking weaknesses until there's you don't like Goldberg. They hit his weaknesses, and the minute they did it, he stopped being over. And it's like that's the point. It's like if you're gonna push somebody, hide what they can't do.
Yeah, that's fair. That is.
And I also kind of even beating him up after the match. Who proved that? It was doomed. Like it's already doomed. It's already doomed because you're trying to copy Ultimate Warrior. But if you're gonna go through with it, go through with it. They did the same thing with Oz. And they did the same thing with Van Hammer, where they immediately showed you the guy stunk. They put him in a position where it's like this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and it's like, no, don't do that. Then don't put the guy on TV. Don't put the have fucking Paul Orndorff wrestle fucking Alex Wright or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the C to me. I mean, it wasn't a great match,
Oh,
but
I hated this match. I hated it.
wasn't
It's
terrible
just the
either.
it's the constant problem we have with WCW is where the vet will just swallow up the newcomer. He'll just make him look stupid. We've seen this like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, but I'm watching this and I'm like, Paul Orndorff, like, what did you want him? Wait, what should he have done then? He's fit at the
I just would have had him squash Paul Orndorff.
Oh, would I have squash him? Oh, I see. Okay.
30 seconds, in and out.
I guess Paul Orndorff said, that doesn't work for me, brother. I
Well, I
gotta
would say to him,
I gotta get my shaky shucky elbow drop in, brother.
It's bad enough they had to fucking fire Vader over this guy. Jesus Christ.
All right. Now, after this match, we get a Dungeon of Doom segment. We got Kevin Sullivan, now known as the Taskmaster. He's got a goblet, and he's talking to his father. He's going, Father, what about the Hulkster, Father? Why can't we beat the Hulkster, Father? And his father yelled, Taskmaster, my son, I have a warrior, Kamala. He was going to destroy Hulk Hogan, and Kevin goes, oh, thank you, Father, thank you. I am not really going to grade promos and segments like this unless it's fucking great. And I love this segment. I gave this segment a B.
I'll tell you, I would like Dungeon to do a lot better if Kevin Sullivan wasn't involved. And I don't know who you. I would have Jimmy Hart run the Dungeon, which he eventually does. But
does he really?
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't take Kevin Sullivan. You want to talk about untalented buffoons? There's certain people I can't take him. I can't. I think he's.
How
I think
do you not like this segment? This segment is so campy. It's so cheesy.
I can't take Kevin Sullivan.
Hilarious.
It would have been great with someone else. Have Slick do it. I don't know.
I think that's what made it great is that Kevin Sullivan's doing it because it's like
he's
wearing this like he doesn't fit where they are. They're like in some kind of like cave, and there's like smoke and stuff, and like the taskmaster, no, the father, he's all like crumbly and stuff. Like he looks like he belongs there, but Kevin Sullivan does not look like he belongs there, and it's like that hokey, like shitty acting, and just like father, like if I show this to people, I guarantee you people are gonna laugh. Like this is hilarious.
Oh, it's so bad it's good, but I just
it's so bad it's good. I love that.
I can't take Kevin Sullivan, bro. I really can't. I'm sorry. It's over for me and him.
So Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with very angry Jim Duggan. And it's about this. And Jim Duggan's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of these guys. They're not playing by the rules. And I'm the Mr. Nice Guy. I'm playing by the rules, and it gets me nowhere. So no more Mr. Nice Guy today. And it's going to lead to match number 3. The Warrior from the Dungeon of Doom, Kamala, with the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, versus Jim Duggan. Jim Duggan, he can't knock down Kamala with multiple hits because Kamala just won't go down. But he does, on the 3rd try, he does get Kamala down. Then there's a bear hug spot. And then Kamala grabs Jim by what looks like his tit, right? He like grabs him by the tit. And then, so Jim Duggan bites him. This is a classic wrestling match, guys. Kamala grabs Jim Duggan by the tit, so Jim Duggan bites Kamala. And then Jim slams Kamala, 3-point stance, but he goes after the Taskmaster instead. And then the Zodiac also looks like the Zebra Man. He looks like the Zebra Man from DC Comics. He hits Jim Duggan from behind for Kamala to win the match. I give this match a C.
I hated this match. This is when I started getting annoyed with the show. This is when I started getting annoyed because I'm like, this is like bad WWF shit. Like this is like a shitty copy of '86 WWF, but somehow it's even worse.
It's like
this is when I started getting
Sebastian Booger back.
It's I gotta tell you, I'm so sick of Jim Duggan at this point. He's had a year of stinkers. They lost Steve Austin to get him over. it's just you. It's just there's so many good workers who are gone now. Ricky Steamboat, Dustin Rhodes, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman's barely on this show, and you're just giving this time to Jim Duggan to stink up the fucking place. I hated this match. This is when I started getting angry at the show. I started getting annoyed.
So Mean Gene Okerlund, he is with Randy Savage, who is in all Slim Jim gear. Hold on for 1 second.
Uh-oh. There's a run-in from the dog that Andrew Lee is watching. But my dog is nice and calm. Jasmine the Pooch. Jasmine the Pooch. Jasmine the Pooch. Jasmine the Pooch. Nice and calm dog over here. But Andrew Lee is right off. Back out. He's got the dog. Next week, guys, don't forget, we're going to be reviewing In Your House 2, which features Diesel versus Sid in a lumberjack match. And also, if you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe to us on YouTube, Ray Goots Comedy, on TikTok. That's Ray Goots Comedy. Ray Goots on Instagram, and Goots' Wrestling Pod on Instagram as well. Andrew Son of Lee on Instagram. Please subscribe, follow us, and also leave us a review if you'd like. Leave us a comment. What are your thoughts on Bash at the Beach 95? Did you enjoy this show? And if you have some upcoming thoughts about In Your House 2, which also features Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Jarrett, leave a comment on that as well. Andrew Lee, back from your fight with the dog.
Sorry about that. I am dog sitting at my uncle's place, and some lady just. I've been here for almost 2 weeks, and nobody's rang the doorbell until now.
Hey, Brew.
Right when I'm doing a podcast. So anyway,
Kevin Sullivan's family sent someone.
Mean Gene is with Randy Savage, and he was dressed up in Slim Jim gear, and he cuts a promo on Ric Flair. It's just like a standard Randy Savage promo. We're gonna go to match number 4. Diamond Dallas Page in full body gear with the Diamond Doll and Max Muscle. They're gonna be facing Dave Sullivan, otherwise known as Evad, and little Hulkster fan gives the Diamond Doll some flowers, but then Evad, he attacks Diamond Dallas Page from behind, and he shoves those roses that the Diamond Doll had in his face. People start cheering by the way, during this match, people started cheering, and I was like, what the fuck are they cheering? They're not cheering for anything to happen in this match. Something was getting tossed around the crowd, and that's why they were cheering. Max Muscle gets in the apron to distract the referee and stuff, and then DDP hits the cutter to win the match. This match, I gave a D. This was a terrible match.
This was atrocious. Diamond Dallas Page wasn't there yet. Dave Sullivan will never be there. He never was there, and never will be there. He's a complete waste of time. This match was a waste of time. I don't care about this storyline. Dave Sullivan, there's nothing about him. He looks like a fucking unemployed dock worker. He does not look like an athlete or a star. He looks like a fucking buffoon. I hated this match. 0 stars. Andrew Lee, your thoughts? Andrew Lee stepped away for the second.
Ridiculous. I apologize. I missed everything you said because this stupid lady who I gave the signal, don't fucking ring the doorbell anymore. She rang the doorbell one more time.
What was she wanting to be?
I don't even know. She disappeared. I think she just
maybe she wants to talk about Bash at the Beach 95. Yeah. I hated long story short, I hated the fucking match, and I hate Dave Sullivan.
I hate this match. This is why I gave it a D. This is a D. I'm being very generous with my grading too. Like I gave stuff like it's mediocre. It's like, all right, I'll give it a C. This is a D. This was a waste of everyone's time.
It really is. It's like an insult that you charge money for this. It's like an insult to me. It's so fucking bad. This guy Dave Sullivan, it just to say he has no talent is giving him too much credit.
Wait, hold on. I see the lady. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, fuck Dave Sullivan. Who are your least favorite wrestlers? Leave us a comment in the comment section on YouTube at Ray Goots Comedy under this video. Let us know who you don't like. Who is your personal Dave Sullivan? I'll tell you that my least favorite wrestlers. I hate Jeff Jarrett. I hate the Young Bucks. I hate Eddie Kingston. I hate Dave Sullivan, and I hate Kevin Sullivan. Those are the people that I hate. Who do you hate? Leave a comment. Have you noticed a lot of them are in AEW? And it's true. They are fucking garbage, and I fucking hate them. You know what it is about our good friend Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston to me is like if WCW started booking Dave Sullivan like he could like he's a world beater, like he could fuck up everyone. That's what it's like to me, and I can't take him. I can't stand him, and he sucks. And fuck Eddie Kingston, and fuck Tony
No,
Khan for that matter. He's another
dude,
piece of shit.
it's a
All right,
stupid appraiser, and she just was walking around the backyard by herself. And I'm like, you can't fucking do that. You can't just invite yourself to somebody's home and just walk around the backyard.
was your uncle expecting her? Or?
No, I don't know, but you don't do. It still doesn't matter. You don't do that. It's
I
crazy.
know. So
I
anyway,
apologize for the interruptions, but this
all
is
right,
fucking bullshit.
it is bullshit, man. She's trying to ruin our podcast.
Hmm.
She was sent by Dave Sullivan, I think. All right, let's move
Let's
on to the next match.
yeah, let's move on. We gave Dave Sullivan enough fucking screen time.
Yeah, while you've been away, I've been shitting on him the whole time. So
I apologize for this one more time. So Mean Gene, he is with Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry, and Sister Sherry says Harlem Heat is the most cohesive unit in WCW.